The views and opinions expressed on this program are not necessarily those of this station, JVC Broadcasting Management, or its sponsors.
With so many people living longer, the fear of outliving your money becomes a reality for many of us. Will I be a financial burden? Will I outlive my money? How will I be remembered? My name is Neil Himmelstein, president of Main Street Planning Group. Please contact me by visiting mainstreetplanninggroup.com. That's mainstreetplanninggroup.com, or call 631-647-4694. I will introduce you to strategies that will guarantee you will not outlive your money, that can guarantee you will not be a burden on your loved ones. Through a collaborative approach, we will uncover solutions that offer tax-efficient strategies, lifetime income, and legacy planning, choice, organization, direction, and education. That is the code we stand behind. Contact mainstreetplanninggroup.com. That's mainstreetplanninggroup.com, or call 631-647-4694. And listen to me every Friday at 3 p.m. as I host the Main Street Code for Financial Success, right here on 103.9 LI News Radio. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Main Street Code for Financial Success. I'm your host, Neil Himmelstein. I can be reached at 631-647-4694. You can always check out my website at mainstreetplanninggroup.com. When we talk about code, we talk about choice, organization, direction, and education. We represent hundreds of financial advisors across the country. Accountants, attorneys seek to us for advice in the areas of life insurance, annuities, long-term care, disability insurance. We are experts in those areas and consult all the time with other financial professionals in helping them with the right products and the right services, and also doing forensic investigation into your policies and making sure that the beneficiaries are set up correctly, making sure your policies will last, making sure if they have loans that they're taken care of or we can rescue them, making sure that you have enough income so you can outlive. We offer products that give you income you cannot outlive. Today's topic is going to be on annuities. Now, you may not realize it, but Social Security is an insurance product. It's basically an annuity that offers you payments for when you retire. As is many pensions, 401ks can turn into annuities. As if you win the lottery and there's a payment stream, that's an annuity. That's an insurance product, that's an annuity. Many different forms of annuities. If you win a case because of an accident and they pay you over a number of years, that's also an annuity. So today we want to talk about the features of annuities. Now, sometimes in the media where certain companies advertise annuities are bad or annuities aren't things you should consider, usually it's from companies that aren't licensed to sell annuities that say that, because they want to manage your money and not have you get into an annuity. So I just want to disparage that remark right away, and you need to understand what annuities can do for you. So annuities have two different qualities. One is it can create a payment stream for the rest of your life. The other is it will give you tax deferral. So there's two really defined types. One's called an immediate annuity, which will give you immediate income. One's called a deferred annuity. Now, within the immediate annuities, there are many different structures you can do. You can have a situation where it pays you an income for the rest of your life. You can have a situation where it pays you for the income for the rest of your life, and in addition, if you should predecease, the balance of what you put in may go to your heirs. You could have it pay for just 10 years. You could have it pay for 5 years. You can structure annuities in a number of different ways on the payout side. There's a number of reasons you want to do a payout annuity. One is it's not subject to any market fluctuation whatsoever. So you buy a contract, it pays you a certain amount of money. That money can be used to pay your bills, to pay anything. It comes into your checking account every month or every year for as long as you live. That's set money that you don't have to think about. So part of your portfolio might want to be to cover your expenses with an immediate annuity. We also use immediate annuities to fund life insurance many times. For instance, this morning I got a call from an agent in Florida who has an 82-year-old gentleman who has $750,000 and they want to buy as much life insurance as they possibly can. So my recommendation to him might be, and I'll work on all the numbers for him today, is rather than put it into a life insurance contract right off the bat, we can leverage that money by buying an annuity that'll give him a payment stream. He can use that money to buy the life insurance, but at 82, with a pacemaker and some health issues, quite candidly, if he doesn't last for 10 years or a certain amount of time, his family will get the balance of that annuity and the life insurance. So we're leveraging two assets against one. So that's just one typical way we use it. We also use immediate annuities with people with highly leveraged retirement accounts. And the problem is today, if you leave an annuity behind, okay, they're great for tax deferring money. You don't have to pay taxes, you know, on the deferred side. But if you leave it behind and you've never taken money out of it, then you have to pay a tax. So we have lots of strategies surrounding annuities. So we had a situation also this week where someone had passed away with a very large annuity and they only put in $100,000. It's now worth $200,000. We were able to transfer it to the beneficiary's account intact. They could not take that whole money. If they did, $100,000 would be taxed immediately. But we were able to transfer it into an immediate annuity for that beneficiary so that the tax burden could be stretched out over their lifetime. Very interesting things that you can do with annuities. Now I want to talk about fixed annuities, variable annuities, index annuities, what we call tax-deferred annuities. And why do you want a tax-deferred annuity? Well, on the fixed annuity side, what we call fixed, you're going to get a better interest rate than a CD 90% of the time to 95% of the time, a better interest rate than a CD. They're designed to have a number of years, whether it's 5 years, 10 years, 7 years, of what they call surrender charges, like a CD would have a surrender charge. A lot of them you can get all your money back, but it has a surrender charge, but it does have, most of them have withdrawal options. So you can take out 10% a year or 20% a year if you need the money. Very interesting, very, very powerful tool to buy a fixed annuity over a CD because you're going to get much higher rate. Now, many of the people come to us and say, well, we want a 5-year rate to compare to a CD. Well, CDs are paying 1%. Some of our annuities are paying 2.5%. But I happen to like ones that you may have a fluctuating interest rate, and the reason being, I just got gas in my Mercedes, and I paid $3.75 a gallon. I bought lumber, and it's double what it was 6 months ago. We are in an incredibly inflationary period with ridiculously low interest rates today. And that is part of what's driving the stock market. The interest rates are kept low today because of the amount of money we owe and because on the international stage we have to keep our rates low to be competitive for money. That's forcing a lot of money into the market. And when it forces a lot of money into the market, it forces a lot of risk on a lot of people. And if you're heavily invested in the market and you're in retirement or about ready to retire, I'm going to tell you that at some point we are going to have interest rates raised because of this tremendous inflationary pressure. When interest rates go up, or if they make a jump, if the government ever decides, okay, now we have to do this because we have such inflationary pressure, people will be taking money out of the market. When money comes out of the market in a grand scale, the market will go down. That's not the time you can afford to lose your money, is when you're depending on it for your retirement. So I'm not saying the market's going to go down tomorrow, next week, or next year, but at some point it will go down. The market does go up and it does go down. With a fixed annuity, okay, you're not subject to any market risk. You are subject to interest rate risk if the interest rate goes up. Now, how safe is a fixed annuity? Well, people think that CDs and money markets are very safe, but quite candidly, what does a bank do with your CD or money market is they loan that money out. They only need to keep 8% of it in reserves. This is Main Street Planning Group, and you're listening to the Main Street Code for Financial Success. I'm your host, Neil Himmelstein. We're going to be back in just a minute. Thank you very much. Welcome back to the Main Street Code for Financial Success. I'm your host, Neil Himmelstein. I can be reached at 631-647-4694, or you could visit me on my website at mainstreetplanninggroup.com. We welcome anything you would like to hear on the show or any questions. Please give us a call about your personal situation, or if your advisor's having problems, or we got a call this week because someone was talking about a variable annuity to a client and they didn't understand the details. We're going to sit down with them and explain to them what their options are. And today's topic is annuities, and I'm talking about fixed annuities right now. And we're talking about the safety of fixed annuities as opposed to, the safety of a bank. Banks do trillions and trillions of dollars of CDs and money markets, paying like next to nothing in percent, and people feel safe because it's my local bank. But by the way, you're not safe with interest rates at 1% when inflation right now is running 3-4%. You're losing money. Not only that, on your CD and your money market, you pay taxes on that every single year. So if you count in those two things, inflation and taxes, and you're sitting in CDs or money markets, I hate to say it, I know bankers get mad at me, I call them certificates of depreciation because they're depreciating. They're not keeping up with inflation and the taxes as well. So inflation and taxes. So a lot of times we'll offer a fixed annuity where all your taxes are deferred and the interest rate is higher because they're keeping up with inflation. Now we're talking about safety. Well, when you think about a bank, how safe is your annuity? Well, whatever your CD, whatever money you put into a CD, the bank does not need to disclose this to you, but banks loan out your money to other people, whether it's in a savings account, a checking account, and typically they may lend out your money to 100 other people, and they only need to keep 8% of that money on reserve. Just think about that. So the other 92% of the money, you put in $100,000, 92,000 of that is being lent out to other people. That's how banks make their money. So they love it when you buy these CDs. They love it when it sits in a savings account and a checking account and depreciates. It no harm off their back. They take that money and yeah, they'll give you a little return, but the return they're really getting is from loaning it out to other people on credit cards and everything else where they're making 20%, 40% on your money. Why? Because they're turning that money over and over and over while you're just waiting on your 1%. I'll do that every day of the week. Annuity company is different, okay? Annuities are offered by insurance companies. They have to back it by 108% in reserves. 108%. So if you give an annuity company $1, they have to keep $1.08 on hand in case you want to cash in that annuity. Very big deal. Now, also in the state of New York, there is a guarantee fund up to $500,000 in case that insurance company ever defaults. And we've only had one in the last 50 years, and everybody got their money back because of this guarantee fund that all the insurance companies have to pay into. So that's how these fixed annuities can offer, they offer rates. Now, how do they offer rates and all these reserves that's higher than a bank? When an annuity company or an insurance company offers a fixed annuity, they have to keep that money in a government reserve. So that kind of dictates their rates of what they can do. But they buy in a very large scale, and they have a very long-term objective, not a short-term objective. So that's how they can be more competitive than, let's say, a bank. Now, they can offer a number of different what we call fixed annuity rates. One is your basic, what they call a multi-year guarantee, like a CD. For 5 years, you'll get X rate. I think some of them right now are at 2.3%, where the bank's at 1%. That's a huge difference, especially in large numbers. Outside New York, it's up to 3%. So they could do a fixed rate, or they could do a rate that fluctuates. Every year, they'll adjust the rate. It may go up or may go down, but they'll have a floor, and at least you'll be making money more than typically 1% is a floor. So maybe they'll have a floor of 1%, but then they'll, go by the aggregated rate. My gut feeling is we've had interest rates for so long, so low. Never in the history have we had such an extended low interest rate, which is why never in the history have we had an extended stock market. That's been the way it is. But we have such inflation right now with gas prices, lumber, housing, contractors. All these prices are coming up dramatically, very quickly. All this inflation is happening. The CD cannot take care of that with inflation. I feel that we are going to have interest rates rise in the near future, whether it's 6 months or a year. They cannot continue to keep the rates down as low as they are right now. So we talked about a multi-year, then they have a flex year. Some insurance companies will offer you a bonus on your money. So they may offer you 5% bonus on what you have, plus have an interest rate, which is a good deal that you're not going to get on a CD. So if you want to bump in your money, and listen, if you're at or near retirement, this is a great option for some of your money, not all of your money. Some of your money that's invested, you want to take some of that money off. Even if you're at a casino and you're winning at a casino, you got to take your winnings off the table and put some on the side. So put them on the side in something like an annuity, and you'll never forget. So fixed annuities, we talk about multi-year, bonus. Some have flexible. You can make continuing contributions, some just one-time contribution. It can be based on an interest rate, or they also have annuities based on an index rate. Now, what is an index? If someone comes to you with an index annuity, usually that's reflective of the market in some way, but it's not. Money is not in the market. You're betting on an index like the S&P index. So typically, if you buy an index annuity and it goes up from today, and they'll measure it either a month out or a year out, depending on what bucket you choose, they'll look at the bucket then, they'll look at that rate, and they'll give you a percentage of the market. So they may give you up to, let's say, 5% of a cap if the market's done well. If the market's done 8%, you'll get 5. The market's done 10, you'll get 5. The market's done 2%, you'll get 2%. But if the market goes down, they'll still give you a guarantee of 0 or 1% depending on the contract. That's how an index annuity works. A variable annuity, which is very common because they add other features to it, invests in separate accounts that look like mutual funds. Mutual funds are companies, investment companies that buy multiple stocks and bonds with some kind of feature with a money manager behind it. And you can have a multi-money managers managing your money behind an annuity. Why would you put it inside an annuity and not just buy it outright? Well, many of these annuities put features on them like income riders and income payout riders that make them very attractive and make it a hedge against, oh my God, the market's going down. So you can guarantee your income, but not necessarily your principal in some of these contracts. And many of them have a death benefit guarantee so that you can't lose your principal. Some of them used to have guarantees, you have to pay for it in the contract, that no matter what, that principal will go up. if you're not taking that money. So there's a lot of reasons to buy annuities. And I got to tell you, it's a huge, huge, huge portion of many people's portfolios and asset, and one that you consider. You can buy them when you're young. You can buy them when you're old. There are some age restrictions on some of the annuities, but typically you can always buy an annuity and defer your taxes on annuities. Tax deferral and tax-favored income and income for life. These are some of the major features that you can buy with an annuity, and we are annuity experts at Main Street Planning Group. You're listening to The Code for Financial Success. Main Street Planning Group, I can be reached, Neil Himmelstein, at 631-647-4694. Visit me on my website, mainstreetplanninggroup.com. I've got lots of videos and things and calculators, and we're here to help you. Listen, have a great weekend, and hopefully we'll have a beautiful weekend after this major storm we had. Thanks again.
The views and opinions expressed on this program are not necessarily those of this station, JVC Broadcasting Management, or its sponsors.